All right. Hello. Another year, another video. Well, it's that time of year again where I decide to sit down and give some unsolicited thoughts and air my grievances. Today's grievances are about a little known topic, kind of a niche corner of the universe called Disney live action remakes. And the reason I'm making this video is I recently saw another YouTube video that was like, Disney remakes, they're not that good, blah, blah, blah. Kind of just have to accept them for what they are. And, maybe there's actually some good things, some good parts to these movies that I'm sort of taking for granted. And, as long as they bring something new to the table, who am I to complain? I'm getting new Disney content, seeing my favorite characters on screen again. They did something new with it. I'll take it. I'm pretty neutral on Disney remakes. I mean, I don't like them, but for that reason, I just don't watch them. But seeing someone actually start to kind of just like give up and start defending them, that struck a nerve. And I just felt the need to talk about it for a wee bit, because I don't think these movies deserve to be defended. And least of all by some little YouTuber on his corner of the internet. Like, Disney does not need your defense. We all know what it's about at the end of the day, right? It's not about the story they're telling. It's not about the characters. It's not even about the effects or the updated yada yada, anything. It's just about money, okay? These aren't movies, they're ads. They're ads to make you buy Disney Plus. Nobody's watching these movies for their own merit, okay? Nobody's watching the remake of Beauty and the Beast because it's a good movie. You're watching the remake of Beauty and the Beast because it's Beauty and the Beast and you remember it from your childhood. And okay, so, I mean, you could argue that the nostalgia that I feel for the original Beauty and the Beast, well, kids who watch the new Beauty and the Beast are going to have nostalgia for that one. I don't agree with that. Because the nostalgia that we feel for those older movies is because they were good movies, okay? I don't feel nostalgic for them because it was Beauty and the Beast. I feel nostalgic for it because it told a good story, it was well animated, it's easy to follow, you like the characters, there's nothing complicated to it. We feel nostalgic for stories that are well told. We don't feel nostalgic for something from a particular era just because it's from that era. We feel nostalgic for things because they are good things. And what do the remakes bring to the table that we're going to feel nostalgic for in 20 years? The kids today are going to feel nostalgic for in 20 years. Maybe higher fidelity graphics, maybe some new vocal performances, some slightly updated ideology, and overall just really flat, uninspired, if you can call it, storytelling. The remakes, and this is endemic to many just general movies today, is they're not made for audiences. They're not made for quality. They're not made for some artistic merit. They are made to get your ass in the seat. Because none of these remakes last longer than a month at best, They're a flash in the pan. They had a few well-made ones at the beginning of this trend, and then they said, okay, this is our way forward. This is how we preserve our legacy. And then they just started cranking them out, and they got all the way to Pinocchio, which was a complete pile of shit. You didn't even remember Pinocchio, did you? I mean, that happened. That just came and went. If they're making this to preserve their legacy, well, they already did something to preserve their legacy. They made Disney Plus. Disney Plus is already preserving their legacy. So by making these new movies, what are they doing? Are they preserving their legacy? No, they're crapping all over it. Are they reinterpreting these movies in some fresh way? No, they're too scared to make any wholesale changes, to make anything completely new, to make an entirely new reinterpretation of it. But they're trying to infuse it with new graphics, new technology, most of which doesn't even stand the test of time for more than a year. And then they're trying to update some of the philosophies, some of the ideologies to fit more of a modern day sensibility or whatever. But even that doesn't change the nature of the story itself. The song that they shoehorned in for Jasmine in the new Aladdin is a perfect example of this. Did it add anything to the story? No. Was it a nice little moment for Jasmine? I guess. But they could have done the same thing by just re-releasing the original movie and just animating a new sequence for Jasmine. These movies are not made to reinterpret these stories. It's a safe bet to get butts in seats, which for a giant billion gazillion dollar company like Disney, they're going to want something that's a dependable return on investment. So they have this cash cow, they have this golden goose, but they're running out now. I mean, they're remaking Lilo and Stitch. They're remaking Moana, the original, even though they already made a Moana 2. Disney is starting to realize that this investment they've made into live action films is not paying off. They're not getting that return on investment that they thought they would. But the problem to them is not the live action remakes themselves. It's not even the quality of the live action remakes. They're not trying to make them better. Now what they're trying to do is make more recent films into live action because they want to tap into a more recent public conscious. They want to tap into films that young kids of today actually remember and are going to have some nostalgia for. They're not changing their strategy. They're just doubling down. It's just about getting butts in seats. It's just about what's recognizable. And it's just about whatever they can make enough money on in a week, in a month, to get them by for the next period, the next pay quarter. They don't even care that these movies suck. All they care about is that it's a dependable name brand. And they know that you're going to get into the seat because you'll recognize the brand and you're going to support that brand. If they cared about preserving their legacy, they would invest in making good stories, because that really is Disney's legacy. Disney's legacy is not about Beauty and the Beast. It's about how well Beauty and the Beast was told. It's about the artistry and the craft that went into that movie. By recycling their old legacy to make it somehow more modern, they're building a whole new legacy of complete trash. Stuff that people don't want to rewatch. And you know what rewatchability builds? Rewatchability builds nostalgia. The stuff they're making today is not rewatchable. They could save and honestly probably make even more money by just re-releasing these movies in theaters. Disney has nothing today to offer. Disney's whole strategy is about branding, and that's why Star Wars turned into what it was, because they wanted to milk that cash cow now. They didn't want to wait. They didn't want to develop any stories. They just wanted to make good on their investment. There's a whole philosophy there of making a quick buck now versus waiting on it, doing the best that you can with it, and making something that actually lasts for generations, which is what they used to do. I mean, and it wasn't hard. They just had to think originally for 2 seconds. They just had to plan ahead. They actually had to storyboard their movies. They actually had to organically infuse philosophies of the day into their stories. How many little girls are gonna realize that they're a strong, independent woman because, oh, now Jasmine sings a song? What? No. Like, make a good story. All that says is that, oh, we interpreted that wrong back in the 90s, but here's the right way to interpret it. It's confusing. It's a mess. And that's brand inconsistency. Disney's not bringing anything new to the table. Disney just wants you to sign up for Disney Plus because they made an advertisement that reminds you of the old thing that's on Disney Plus. They recognize that the films they made in the past are still making them money. The content that they made in the past was so effective that they're like, we could make another one. If you want a legacy, then make something that lasts, not something that's just a flash in the pan. There's no one who's like, oh, live action Beauty and the Beast, that was the best film of 2017 or whenever it came out. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's signing up for Disney Plus for the new Beauty and the Beast. So there's no reason to defend them. There's no reason to defend a company that inherited your childhood and now just wants to feed it back to you to make a quick buck now and then, completely squander it. In conclusion, I'm just so brave for saying this. No need to applause. I mean, obviously, it took a lot of bravery for me to come out and say something like this about a huge company like Disney. I mean, wow. If we all just canceled our Disney Plus, that would really show them. So if all 30 of you could please cancel your Disney Plus today, and then Venmo me $5 to prove that you did that. Actually, make it $50. My Venmo is at Benjamin-Jackson-13. It's not for me. It's just to make sure, because some people say that they do these things and they don't. There's no way to trace it, and also like and subscribe. Okay. All right. Thanks. This has been good. Good chat. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Love you all. Kisses.